What's up, boys and girls? Holy shit, I don't know what I signed up for tonight. Uh, we are right here. We're working at the end of the work week here. We are on a Wednesday. We're so close. We're halfway there. It's hump week, my friends. But you know what happens after, because we've been doing a month strong of just nonstop interviews. We're fitting in a half a year's worth of interviews in 1 month. And boys and girls, I don't know if this is going to be a bump in the road or a crowbar across the head, but we're all going to find out together. This is Stir in the Pot with Doc and Kate and my very special guest, Red Sawyer. Welcome to the show, my man. How is you, my friend?
How am I?
Yeah. How is you?
I'm just the status quo. Same as you always know me.
Yeah, boys and girls. Not sure if you're familiar with one Red Sawyer. He's new on the scene, newer, I'll say. He's touched into a couple promotions, mainly TOS, and we'll talk on the others that you've touched, your wet your feet in, if you will. But status quo. You don't show pretty much any emotion except for I don't know. Is it hatred or is it frustration, or I'm not sure what you scare the fuck out of me, especially you come running out with a crowbar. What's with all the anger, the yelling and stuff? Please, I don't know a goddamn thing about you, my friend. So please, could you fill us in a little bit? What? Why so angry?
It comes from a place of frustration for me, but really all I'm doing is giving back the treatment that I receive. A few years ago, to put it lightly, my life was pretty much organized and ruined by certain forces, and you can define it however you want. All I'm doing is doing to people in that ring what happens to me, just living, just trying to get out, earn a decent fucking day's wage, having to go from job to job to job because every place I go gets sabotaged. There's calls being sent to my boss saying that, I did this, I did that, I believe in this.
Oh.
It's just been a constant, man, since August 8th, 2020. That's when it just kind of really broke. And I ended up in this fight game of pro wrestling.
For just a couple things before I move. Um, Sabotaging, you've done all sorts of nefarious acts or what have you. That's not you, it's somebody else, and you've got nothing to do with whatever these stories are or whatever.
Listen, man, look, I'll just say this to start off too. Don't trust people that you meet on the internet and all you know is just them on the internet, and don't talk to those people about anything controversial, anything politically too far one way or the other, because I have a feeling that's where a lot of this started.
Yeah,
Friends, a couple up in Canada, one out in the Philippines. We talked a lot of American current politics. I'm trying to be the more neutral one, but I think all of us kind of started having certain problems in our lives at the same time. When I'm talking about these sabotage attempts, this espionage, vehicular assault, this is gang stalking. You can Google gang stalking. Is the easiest way for you to get all the info on it. That there are people out there, there's strangers to you. They're actors on assignment, sent out to follow you, to make certain gestures at you, to mess with you, and I've been run off the road on the damn highway coming up to shows before. It's strange. I see a lot of people out in the audience. Some people that might show up to a wrestling show. Maybe I've seen them outside the place where I live. Maybe I've seen them out when I'm just grocery shopping. It's very difficult for me to grocery shop. I have to steal a lot of what I eat.
Because you can't afford it, or you're just where we where
I
we
can't
at there?
afford it.
Oh, okay.
I have trouble holding down jobs because of gang stalking.
The gang stalk. I'm definitely gonna Google said gang stalking. Now you got my
Yeah.
curiosity. Um, do you think we're watching you grocery shopping and such? Uh, uh, like me personally, are you talking to me personally? Like you think I'm watching you
You
as your
know. No, I don't. My relationship to you, Don, I saw you, I heard about you from the boys. You know, as one of the fans that comes around a lot. You film the matches, you do this little show here. So because of the history that they had with you and the trust that I built with some of the boys, some of keyword, I
Okay.
kind of said, all right, I don't think as as much of a reprobate as you are, I don't think you're actually out to target me, so to
Okay.
speak. So I really want to use what you're doing as my own platform. So I kind of have a trusting relationship toward you as
Okay.
much as I'm capable of.
Boys and girls, I did not expect Red Sawyer to say the word trust to me. Like he was talking to me. I did not see that coming one bit.
Well, I
But
could, since you're so excited, I could rephrase it. You're not a threat, Don.
no, because I'm built like a candle, and I would never get in that ring, and I would never threaten you by any stretch of the imagination. Because again, as I said at the top of this interview, you scared the fucking shit out of me, man. I mean, I'm not getting in your way. I'm not getting in your face. I'm not going to follow you to the grocery store. That's not me. And the domino effect of trust within the boys has followed uh, some of the boys, and it's kind of gone down my way, and I really feel I feel some of that. So thank you. Yeah. And whenever I asked if, hey, Red Sawyer, would you like to be interviewed, I thought there was going to be just a middle finger emoji or something, or like a pile of shit emoji thrown at me as a response, but you were like, yeah, let's do this, but my time, my terms, and all of that. And I said, hey, no problem. No
Yeah.
problem.
I know I got you coming out a little late tonight.
No, no, no.
That's fine, but I'm opportunistic, and I see the opportunity here. So we could both benefit from this.
Yes, because the more I learn, that's how we all, that's how we learn about the talent that's out there on the indie scene right now. That's why I like to get the guys and girls that are on the indie scene, Mr. Sawyer. I don't want
Yeah.
to get the guys and girls that are already on TV because they already have their spotlight. They already have what's going on and whatnot. The guys and girls that test the strength, PAPW, and I can name, go on and on and
Yeah.
on. Not all of them get the light. And before we hit record, I just wanted to make sure that this is truly your first interview ever.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm honored, sir. I love doing the firsts and whatnot because it's all about learning about the talent that's out there. That's kind of what I was, long-windedly saying. So there's sabotage, there's conspiracies, there's people watching you grocery shop. Not me. Let's go back. You said something about August to 2020. Something happened, something changed, something clicked. The birth of one Red Sawyer, if you will. Can I say that correctly?
I don't know, man, because I mean the name didn't come for a while. That is the name I'm trying to get right now, legally, as some of you can make jokes about who the Ultimate Warrior became, what the Ultimate Warrior. Red Sawyer. I do have a past identity, a government name that I'm trying everything I can to end, and I can move on to Red Sawyer.
Okay.
So how we found that name isn't quite a you sit around and what would sound nice. It was an available name, we'll say.
Huh. You didn't just name generator kind of thing, right? You didn't do that, right?
No, we had a source, and he kind of laid out some certain names, and one of them, Red, so it clicked. Of course, hey, I'll be Red. Like it makes sense. Like I would be born with that name.
Okay. Yeah.
So
No.
whoever Red Sawyer was, man, He could he could have lost his life in damn Korea or some shit. And they took him away. They buried him, and you won't ever hear or see from Red Sawyer again. His dog tags got lost long ago. Potentially, this is just a situation.
Okay.
This could be the way it was.
It's funny that we're talking about the name specifically because I kind of did see you in and out, and I might have not was supposed to pre doing different things behind the scenes, if you will. And I would always ask because you would never say a goddamn word to me. I would always ask, "Hey, who's that?" I would ask Frosty. I would ask Jay Brown. I would ask, the likes of even the firm collectively, Sammy, Richard, Jay Bricks, Elijah. I would ask the GM. I got the same exact answer from every single person in that company. And you want to know what that answer was, Red Sawyer?
What was that?
I have no idea. He just showed up and he's doing fucking work and we don't know his name. He won't tell us his name.
Yep.
So I could never get the scoop from all of the talent at the Test of Strength Dojo. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Nobody would, legitimately, no one would tell me.
That's when you hear people talk about paying dues. That was when I was paying dues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you know, whoever, if you guys know who is the trainer for Test of Strength, me and him work together. It took a long time for me to even convince him to let me in. And I was just on ring crew, just like everybody else. And I kind of just minded my own. I picked shit up, put it down, put the ring together, came to the shows, and I did whatever they asked, And I knew this is just my period of is a trial that I have to get through, so to speak. And I made it through, and I got the go ahead to sign a contract to have a fight, and it's been one after the other. And even though it's been maybe limited success in the ring, right? Maybe I only have a couple victories, but it's growing and I'm running with it. I'm an opportunist. That's a key. That's my style. In the ring, you could call me hardcore, you could call me dirty, and people have. And I find that to be some of an insult. I'm an opportunist. Because that even begs to the whole story of how, we're talking about August 8th, 2020. And when this shit clicked for me, right, or whatever, man, I'll put it this way. The 2 weeks leading up to August 8th, so we're talking 14, so 14, 8 from 14, 7 from 30, probably like July 23rd, 2020, was a picture show. And what I mean is, it was like I would just kind of come to, and I'm in this situation, and then it would cut out, and then I'd be back in a new situation. It was flash cut scenes from whatever was going on to me being behind a damn strip mall in the dumpster, waking up from a nap, to then I'm at the beach in the water, way far from the shore. All right, and then blackout. Next thing, I'm in a car with somebody I don't know. I'm driving. It's not my car. Blackout to that. And just so many things like that, right? And on August 8th, I kind of came out of that coma of sorts, whatever. What I do know now, just to put a little bow on that before I leave that behind, is that was an attack of electronic thought projection, electronic voice projection. So these are programs and weapons the government has that they use on targeted individuals like myself. So me being gang stalked, I would be categorized as a targeted individual to the government, right? So that means kind of they're going to do whatever to throw my life off, to stop me, to make me unhappy. And it's all because of just ideas or opinions or thoughts that I was in a conversation with, right? And I got linked to, like I said, don't trust people online, right? You know, the internet was a big mistake. Big mistake. A lot of technology is a big mistake. But we'll get to that in the coming hours that we have
Okay.
here. But
Okay.
when I came out on August 8th, it's like like I said, I didn't know I was having an electronic thought projection attack.
Oh.
I thought I was really losing it, man. And I've taken a lot of meds in my life.
Oh,
You know,
shit.
I mean, I don't want to. I'll show you. Like, I got some of these. I got these ones. You know, so I take about 9 pills a night, Don, and I've been doing that since 2018 when I got sent to the psych ward, and I ended up in a 12-week program with people who had schizophrenia, with people who had agoraphobia, who couldn't leave their house.
Okay.
I was in there with victims of domestic violence, Don. You know, so this is the kind of people I come from. I have problems in my life, right? So why? I mean, I think that's what pisses me off the most. Why do I need any of this crap put on my life extra when I already have all these problems to deal with? So when I had this happen to me, I kind of start thinking, hey, I'm a little maybe crazier than I was led to believe, or maybe my doctors are failing me with this medication that they have me taking that I don't. They asked me how does it work? Do you want something else? I say, how do I know? I'm not the doctor.
Right.
That's not how you prescribe medication to people. And it just became a point, Don, where I could have become dismembered, man. My apartment, bro. I I did not get the security deposit back on my apartment that I was living in. I had a pretty decent life, actually. I had a good income. You know, you may look here, you may see this nice background and this couch. You know, I want to thank my friend for letting me come over to use his computer so I could film this with you. This is his setup. Where I live is not anything like this. So don't get that twisted. And I don't say my house. I don't say my home. I say the place where I live, because it's just a place, and I live there by my means, and I can't really go. That I really have to be careful with the amount of details I let about locations. I don't want to have to find another one.
You know, you kind of brought something to light that I was kind of going to ask you. Like, they do have your ISP, you know, but it's not your place, it's your friend, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. The second thing that I want, I I could dissect everything you just said, but that's way too much. I don't think we have 5 hours, maybe 6. But the second thing I did want to ask you is, under the tutelage of Slick Wagner Brown at Test of Strength Dojo in East Hartford, Connecticut, why Test of Strength, not why somewhere else?
Killer Kowalski.
You know
That's
what?
all I
You
gotta
don't
say.
even. Yeah. I was gonna say you don't have to say a goddamn thing more. Very valid answer. Yeah, wow. You know what? We might change the title by the end of this, but that answer was absolutely perfect. I just might call this episode "Killer
You know
Kowalski."
what I
We're gonna.
mean? He man, in the name Killer. I mean, it sounds like a cliche name, but that's because it came from an era, dude. That's such an old nickname. When they back in that era when they call you Killer, you were a killer. He ripped UConn Eric's ear off. He dropped that fucking knee on him. He went to the hospital. He laughed, man. He was not to be played with. He was cut from a different cloth than a lot of wrestlers today, man. And as an old man in interviews, you know, it kills me. I never got to meet him. But like one thing he said, he's like, right now in my old age, I can turn my neck about this far each way. He says, I hurt all the time, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Mm.
And that really is something that sets Red Sawyer apart from a lot of people on the independent circuit, is that this is about pain. This is about inflicting and receiving pain. This is a combat sport. People talk about this like, oh, this was my dream. I saw the people on TV with the fantastic outfits and
Yeah.
doing the big moves, and I
Yeah.
wanted to be like that.
Yeah.
Really, this is combat. If your dream is to fight somebody and to hurt them and potentially be hurt in the process, you're a screwed up person. And you might be somebody like a Mark Alexander, by the way, Mark, who all you care about is the victory and the glory and that moment when everybody cheers and inspiring everybody. No,
We love
you
Mark, though.
forgot. Mark and a lot of other people have forgotten in this business is about giving and receiving pain. And I know I can do both. And now it's just a matter of giving the pain to other people and receiving the pain from other people. That's the only difference.
So, do championships, do they mean anything for Red Sawyer? Are you looking to gain gold within Tesla Strength and other promotions that you got your foot in the door of?
Yeah, of course, because that translates to more money. And unfortunately, we live in this capitalist pig, scum, sewer rat society where it's all about hoarding wealth, distributing wealth to who gaining an advantage over other people using wealth. But that's the only game in town in America. So I do a lot of different things to get money, and I'm glad that I'm a pro wrestler and I get paid to fight people. I feel comfortable doing that. So championships, yes, one day, because like I said, more money, a bigger platform, more attention, and really, I want to spread my message. I want to tell people about targeted individuals like myself, so that we can have some understanding, and so that we're not looked at like how when I came on here, oh, you're scared of me, you think I'm crazy,
Well,
because you don't know what's happened to me. You don't know what I've
but
lived through.
Mr. Sawyer, let's just let's just paint a very small picture. It won't be very detailed or nothing. It'll just be kind of some sketch work right now. Okay,
Right.
Blank canvas, and here comes the brush. The curtain opens. Red Sawyer comes out to his theme music, whatever the hell that is, and he's wielding a crowbar. He's running through. He's screaming at people. He's looking at and like at Shut Up and Wrestle and stuff and Test Strength. He's screaming into my phone and telling me stuff and running down the other sides and wielding this crowbar and just yelling all sorts of crazy shit. And then he gets into the ring. Then his opponent gets in, and then like he said, he just likes to inflict pain. To me personally, because I don't go around wielding a crowbar and screaming at people that I'm going to hurt them or whatever, your message is. So to me personally, I think you're crazy and you do scare the fuck out of me because you're always wielding a weapon. 10 out of 10 times. I don't think I've never seen you without a weapon in your hand.
Well, when Frosty, because you mentioned him before, and I know you and him, especially after the Undeniable, right? He got his big moment. Everybody loves Frosty now. Okay, so when Frosty hits this move, this slam that he does, all right, and that takes people out. Does that scare you?
Well, it's not a weapon, though. It's a finishing maneuver.
Right, but he's doing this with the intent to knock somebody unconscious.
I will give you that, because let's be honest, everybody thinks it's a little fucking trampoline under there and underneath that canvas.
No.
And no. It's
I know
steel.
you respect that.
Yes. Do I? It's steel. It's wood with a very, very little thin padding, and then the canvas over the top. It's not a fucking trampoline, and it's no joke. So, from a guy of Frosty's size and a guy of Frosty's stature and his power, I will give you that, because that it is meaningful to knock an opponent out to get the 1, 2, 3, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 20.
Yeah. So why does the means matter when the intent is the same? Because I'll take the crowbar and I'll knock you out with it the same way Frost is gonna drop you on your head and knock you out with it.
Well,
It's the same result.
Okay, maybe the results are the same, but he's he's not coming at me wielding a weapon. He's in the ring as a combatant for say 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and
yes,
doing.
You feel safe with this kind of violence, right? So violence, you like it. You like to cheer it on. You like to see people get hurt, but all in the name of a sport or the name of the game. But when I come up to you and I get close, you know what I'm doing? I'm putting you on your toes. I'm putting you in a position where for that you're having such a good time at the show, right? You're having a ball, and now all of a sudden you might get hurt. I live my life every day going somewhere. Am I gonna get hurt? When I get in my car and I drive 5 minutes up the street to get a damn coffee, am I gonna get run off the road? Am I gonna get pulled over? Is there going to be a robbery at the gas station and I get hit with a stray bullet? So I'm living with this all the time. So when I come through that entranceway and scream, everybody can be on guard for the next however long my match is. And when I go away, you can have your nice little life back.
Okay, thank you for that picture, because this is what we're trying to do on Stirring the Pot, is share a little bit here and get to know the talent that are. But again, just to go back to that though, real quick, if you were to take the crowbar and just hypothetically, please don't. But if you were to smash me, come out the curtain, smash me over the head with the crowbar, my head would split open. It would gust. It's not that funny. It would split open. Probably brain matter would come out a little bit. There would be a lot of blood. The ambulance would have to come. There would be brain surgery. I'd be fucked up for years and years. I probably couldn't talk for the rest of my life. I couldn't hold my phone and tape your matches.
I control that, because how hard I hit you dictates what your life will look like. I can hit you, I could break your teeth. I could leave you with that. I could put you in a coma.
Good. But, if you're a trained professional wrestler and Frosty's got you in the thing, in his deal, I think you can fare better out of that. Uh-oh.
What are you getting at, Don? You saying that my methods are wrong?
I'm not saying no. I'm just trying to differentiate. You were saying violence is violence, which it is. I mean, assault is assault. I'll definitely give you that. But as a trained professional wrestler, I'm sure you could weather something. The deal from Frosty, even after a 20 count. I mean, you might stir around a little bit, wake up, and make a crowbar is a different. It's a different. I would end up in a local medical facility. Your opponent. I got to stop using me as an example. Your opponent would end up in a local medical facility. You wouldn't even. You don't want that.
Using that WWE language, that medical facility. On that note, I mean, who's running WWE now? Is it Triple H? Right? Wasn't he hitting the man who owns wrestling right now is hitting people with a sledgehammer?
Well, let's get
another
technical.
Kowalski guy, by the way, too.
Yes.
Killers.
Yes.
We're killers.
I will give you that. But technically, that would be daughter Stephanie / Nick Khan, being Tony Khan's papa. Those two are running said WWE. And then you've got the Triple H as the creative executive and talent and the thinking cap for the talent, if you will.
Honestly, man, you're probably right, because I really don't pay much mind to really any wrestling beyond like what I'm doing. So I kind of, Vince retired, right? So I figured Hunter stepped up, but okay, Steph. I mean, I haven't watched wrestling in so long, dude.
Okay, let's pause on this topic just for a quick second. You're an active pro wrestler. I don't even know if you were a fan. So I'm gonna pose a couple in one question. Were you ever a wrestling fan? And you said watching your favorites and and all of that. So I don't even know if you've watched wrestling. So were you a fan coming up as a a small Red
Yeah,
Sawyer?
when I had a nice little, I had a good childhood, bro.
Okay.
I'm so happy. Something balances out in life sometimes. Like I am really fortunate enough to have had a. I mean, there was chaos going on around me, but I had a lot of fun as a kid, and I got to
Okay.
watch wrestling, and I watched WCW with my mom and my dad, and that was like our thing when it was going on in the '90s, and then it went away, and I stopped really watching wrestling. Like I tried a couple more times. Like I watched TNA. Like like I'm not laughing at that. Just the name is so stupid to say. But I watched that a little bit. So AJ Styles and Jay Lethal, I've known about them for a while, but
Yeah.
just nothing ever really caught on. And like I actually became like a big fan of boxing. So I watched boxing for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And funny enough, how these things kind of string along. I met these people online doing a boxing podcast, and that podcast had a side podcast of conspiracy theories, and
Oh,
c'est la vie. We're here now.
oh,
So it's funny, and before I decided, hey, I want to be a wrestler because I had other things I wanted to do. I never wanted to do a stupid typical day job. I wanted to do something creative. Nothing ever really clicked. I wanted to
okay.
do something. I wanted to be in sports when I was young. My mom would not let me play any sports but baseball. I had all this energy growing up I couldn't put out. I did martial arts. I got a couple black belts, and so I've skateboarded. I've done all this side stuff, and it kind of built a strange foundation for me to come back and be a fighter down the line. So when this shit started happening in my life, I said, look, I got to find something to do, because this was, by the way, when the coronavirus just happened, which kind of coincidence there too, with these events are all lining up. And I had no job. I had no job. I was not getting my security deposit on my apartment because I destroyed it. And I said, I literally have nothing to lose. So
Oh,
this is the time to start. Anything I do right now is going to be at the same level. So if I get a job at damn McDonald's, it's on the same level as me starting a career in fighting. And I went down to New Haven. I met Chad Dawson, former heavyweight champion of the world. We talked. He trained me a couple times.
nice.
I kind of see this boxing as a little more of a game, very limited, only punching, only certain areas of the body. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to play a game, it's like chess, right? I'm not going to play a chess master in chess, but the chess is also giving me concussions. You know what I mean? I can't defend myself in the ways, if someone's punching me in the face and I got to take them down, I want that option to be there. you know, and kind of the same thing in MMA with these Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys that can just lock on a hold, and submissions in MMA, once it's in, it's over. So at least in wrestling, there's that rope break. So I started thinking back. To, hey, I watched wrestling as a kid. I know these rules. I can, maybe I can circumvent some of this stuff, because I was 30 when I started training. I said, there's kids out there that are 12 years old. They've been boxing, doing BJJ their whole life. They'll tear me up. I can't play by their game. Wrestling, it's a little more laxed. You see what goes on. You can see the things that happen behind the ref's back. That's why I say I'm an opportunist, because I can find these moments to, if I can bite you, you say that, oh, he bit me, the ref don't see it. I didn't bite you. So I said, wrestling is where I'm going to be able to make my money.
It's So you took whatever you
It's so
oh,
funny, Don.
oh fuck.
You've never been in
You
a fight in your life, man.
you got to, you know me so well, Red. You are spot on, my friend. I have never, legitimately, boys and girls, never in my entire life have I been in a physical altercation. Never, not one time. But the reason why I am laughing is as you're saying these, why it should be wrestling and not jujitsu or boxing and such. You're thinking of all of the nefarious acts that you can get away with,
Yeah,
and that's what's drawing you to the world.
it's a 5
Um,
count. The ref uses a 5 count in wrestling. There's not. It's not a 1 warning, 2 warning system. Like in boxing, you get up to the 3rd warning. Now points are coming off, and it's leading to disqualification. Mike Tyson bit Holyfield twice, and he got disqualified. In wrestling, you have a count. You have 4 seconds of biting. And then down the line, you can have 4 seconds of eye gouging and 4 seconds of hair pulling. These are until the ref really tells you, hey, you're going to get disqualified. You do that again. This is if we want to make games, right? If you want to turn fighting into a game with boxing and all these other combat sports, then we'll play by these rules. This will be the game we play.
All right, man.
And I'm good at it. There's part of me that hates what I do, but I'm good at it.
I gotta give it to you, boys and girls. Oh man, that that laughing! I think I broke a couple more ribs. Holy fuck! In the ring, coming through the curtain, we talk about when the talent does not give us signals. What are we supposed to do? I've seen it a million times over. When a talent comes through that we don't specifically know. Maybe we know said company, but we don't know said new guy or girl walking through that curtain. If they don't give us the signals of how we're supposed to act or respond, we've said it a million times, then you get zero response. And it's kind of awkward. When Red Sawyer comes through that fucking curtain and gets in that ring and does his business in there, I am telling you, boys and girls, you know exactly how to respond to what he's given, unless you're into that stuff. Because, and look, just for a second, how do you know that you are one of the ones that are like picked,
The targeted individual?
That, yes, targeted individual. How do you know? Did it just start someday like a some kind of power, like a superhero power or something?
Well, you might even think I'm a damn hypocrite for saying this, Don, but like I said, the internet was a mistake. But and don't meet people on the internet, right? There are some places where you can talk to other targeted individuals, people I have met up with.
Okay.
My doctors don't really see eye to eye with it, but I mean, you saw the handful of pills that I have to take all the damn time that I'm dependent on. That if I don't get those, I don't sleep, I can't function, and that's something too. And I swear to God, they control me through that. Like I go to my pharmacy and I'm telling them, "Hey, I'm out of my meds. I need them." And you're not gonna have them. It's not gonna be filled for another 5 days. I said, "What do you mean? You gave me 30. There's a 30-day supply. Like, why is it pushed back? This has been happening to me this year a lot. So there may be periods of time. If you see Red Sawyer on a card and then I don't show up, it could be I just may not have been sleeping for the past 72 hours.
Right.
And I might be somewhere trying. Oh man, I could be picked up by the cops for stealing or something. Man, that's the thing. When I don't take my meds, I like to steal. I'm a big kleptomaniac like that. That's a bad habit that I've had for a long time.
Anything.
I steal, but not from people. Like Like I, it makes it hard
Okay.
for people to trust me when I say things like that. But I like to steal from businesses, big businesses. Walmart. I've stolen so much from Walmart. Oh my God.
But a person owns Walmart.
Yeah, but they own the world, man.
Oh. I think Jeff
They
Bezos.
don't need their food. They don't need that box of cereal. They don't need those shoes. I need that stuff, man, and I can't get that stuff.
Well,
Actually,
Walmart used. Oh, Walmart used to run the world, but it's a new day, my man. And I know you're not on the old internet much, and whoever your friend is, kudos to your friends for sharing the space, sharing the computer, and getting us hooked up on Skype here. But it's a new time. Amazon, Jeff Bezos has absolutely taken over not only the entire globe is his right now. Do you know who I speak of right now?
yeah. Well, you need an address to get stuff from Amazon, so.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to do with them anymore, but I mean, they started out selling damn books online, so and now got a lot of money. And like, there's that Elon Musk guy. Like, that's one of my problems with society is who are all these people popping up out of nowhere with tons of money? Like, I really don't think that Amazon you could become like the world dictator by having an online shop. Like, really, that's.
Right
I mean, how like it's lucrative, right? Lucrative, but
there.
who the hell is Elon Musk? And he's talking about all these plans, these science projects he has that they're never going to come to fruition. But
No,
it's
he's gonna do the Jetson tube thing. We're gonna all travel through Jetson tubes. You didn't hear? Never
nah,
mind.
I didn't hear about it. I just know he does the car, like the electric car, and some about a subway system in San Francisco, or I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But who are these people, and why do they have any
So
kind of
much.
leverage on society, right? Why are their words, people value their damn words? Who owns Wish.com, right? Do we care about him?
I've never heard
No.
whoever owns Wish, not even one time.
The same guy that owns Wish is really the same guy, not literally, but he's the same old schlub that owns Amazon. Maybe he makes more money. These Bezos, these Musk guys, these are puppets, bro. Put in the place to say, oh, we run these businesses. You could trust us.
All right. How do I know if
I'm not doing myself any favors doing this, man. This is like what started me getting gang stalked to begin with. So,
okay?
talking about all this crap.
All right. But how do I know if I'm targeted and if I should start stealing from Walmart? I mean, I would want to know what are the signs of being targeted?
Well, I mean, a big one, like I said, with the thought projection, voice projection attacks. There's also microwave weapon attacks, which people laugh at. A microwave weapon is really, you could think of like a heat ray or some kind of like heat radiation laser weapon.
Okay.
That the government will use on targeted individuals. So Google Havana syndrome. That's where you start. Havana syndrome. Because that was where, at the U.S. Embassy in Cuba, there were a lot of people, U.S. ambassadors, they got real sick. They were having nausea, headaches, and migraines, and basically like concussions. They were getting concussions out of nowhere.
Okay.
That was the first instance in 2016. Then it becomes on American soil at D.C. with people that work in various office buildings. They were reporting, look, I was just leaving my job, walking to the parking garage, and all of a sudden it feels like I got like an invisible spike in my head, like this way. It's like I'm getting shot, and people report their depth perception gets all messed up, nausea once again, having trouble standing. And if this is something that happens to you and you go to a doctor and they say, hey, look, you've got concussion symptoms, but there's no sign of any kind of impact or anything, that is a microwave weapon attack. They'll hit you with those while you're at your home. They'll hit you with those while you're just out and about. So they usually come from vehicles. So I get black vans. People always talk about white vans. There's always like black vans in my neighborhood. Oh. And I've been struck before where it'll be 3:30 a.m. I'm sleeping. I'm struck by a microwave weapon. I try my best to regain my composure. I get outside or maybe I'll hear a car pulling off into the distance. I get there's no one there. So that obviously, if that's happening to you, you're a targeted individual. There's a gesture, right? If you see people doing this at you a lot, it's like an L. It could be on either side, but it's an arch, and it's a Masonic symbol. So this goes back into the Freemasons. If there's people making shit like that at you, you should be on guard. If there's just anything funny, there's any patterns, right? If somebody says something to you that they shouldn't know, right? They're using a name that they shouldn't know about. Man, like one time, I can't even tell you the significance of it, but I saw 8 cars with, in the span of a week, 8 cars with just married with the cans hanging off the back. 8 of them. I've never seen one in my life. Okay? And Don, I won't tell you the significance, but there was significance. And I said, this is a message. Somebody is using this as something they're shoving in my face over and over again. It was man, I don't even want to put other people's business out there like that. But it was something that this was a message, and they're just throwing it in my face. Oh, marriage, just everybody happy. Everybody got families. Everybody's, building up their generation, their family tree, and I'll never have that is the message. So that's just one thing. And that sucks. It hurts to talk about that stuff, man. These are things that people put at you. Strangers just remind you of your struggles, bro. Like, it's just utter disrespect. If you're feeling funny things from strangers, if you're actually, like, I think you're just talking hypothetical, but if you're actually concerned, you could ask me and we could talk more about these symbols.
Okay.
And I mean, you're talking to me on, don't put the loser at me. It's on the side of the face.
No.
That's why I flipped it. I put it that way.
Oh, it's this way.
Yes, okay. It's your thumb going to your ear. Your index finger is beside your eye. I flipped it. I put it forward to let them know.
I got, okay.
I'm sorry. I know what you know, and I know that I know what you know.
And it's right here on footage. But yeah, I didn't mean to confuse it. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to confuse it. The microwave weapons. I was gonna have some Alfredo pasta with some beautiful Colby Jack cheese and stuff. So I should not
microwave.
I should not. No.
Yeah.
Maybe
crickets, Don. Crickets.
Maybe heat it up on the oven instead, and then put the cheese in there. Let it kind of ooze in there, right?
I mean, you should, because like you're an adult, right? You should have like certain skills.
Yeah.
Which,
no.
Hey, this is perfect. How perfect? Because I mentioned earlier about technology, right? The internet's a mistake. That's one thing, right? Onto just technology. You're having the realization here of how much of your life, right, has just been handed to you that you don't earn. You know what I mean? You go to a grocery store. You don't have to hunt. It costs a lot of money to buy a house or pay rent, but did you build it? No, these are things that people had to do for years. This is in our nature to fulfill these acts that sustain our lives, right? And that's why you got so many people now why mental health is a problem. I may be under that thing. I'm trying to escape that because we're just living day to day, going through the motions that have been put in front of us, and there's no real satisfaction. There's no reward there. So we're living doing surrogate activities, meaning you're watching sports. A lot of you wrestling fans, wrestling is a surrogate activity, meaning you just it's something you live vicariously through. Video games is another one.
Very true. Very true.
Playing musical instruments, as somebody might think that's a great creative venture to go down, but these are all things they're meaningless to your life ultimately, but it gives you a false sense of achievement. It's a surrogate. It's like hey, I can't, I didn't hunt or build or fuck today. A lot of you wrestling fans don't know that either. And with Tinder, you you could just hit a girl and she'll come on over and do it. Another thing that people don't. This is why this world is so screwed up, that we don't have to actually do anything. And you're talking, oh, I have food, which you got it from whatever source you got it from. But now you're not even gonna start a fire. You know what I mean? Even if you have an electric burner, you're not gonna start a fire and cook your food over it. Like
I started a fire last night.
You started a fire doing what, Don?
I started a fire last night.
What are you talking about? A bonfire? Crackhead friends in the alleyway?
well, no. I mean, I do have a smaller fire pit and a bigger fire pit where you can take like 4 or 5 pallets and just throw them right in there, throw a little gasoline and hit the old boom. It's a hootenanny. But no, we use a smaller one, and we sit around, maybe smoke a little of the devil's lettuce and hang out, maybe listen to some music and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got in touch with yourself for a little bit there. All right. You got to feel like a man starting a fire and cooking his meal and earning his life.
Yeah. If you saw me rubbing the 2 sticks together to get this son of a bitch going last night, you would have died laughing. You would have actually laughed. It would have been the first time I've seen you laugh, but you would have laughed. Where does wrestling go with Red Sawyer? Because I mean, you're just this guy who wants to inflict pain, receive pain, and I know it's a combat sport. But where does wrestling sit in Red Sawyer's life in the long term, in the big picture? Do you want to be on? Because all right, let's start here. You do know being in wrestling gives you exposure. Coming on STP, you might not have much exposure because, I mean, I don't have much of a reach, but at least a couple people might be watching. You do know in wrestling, you will have exposure. More people are going to see you. The CIA and the NCIS and and stuff, and the Law and Orders, they're going to see your name floating around, So where does wrestling sit in Red Sawyer's life long term? Are you looking to be on TV like in the WWE and stuff? And I know you said you don't really like the WWE, but where are we at here?
I'll be wherever people want me to be.
Okay.
I'll just keep doing my thing, man. And even right now, I obviously, why would I even think about WWE when, I mean, there's a lot of promotions that want nothing to do with me. I've been around a year, I've been around a while, and I've gotten no support from a lot of companies just right in the state that people that I came up with, maybe not in the same dojo, maybe in the same dojo, but I saw our progress. I paid my dues, they paid their dues. I'm not taking away from anybody. But when I see certain people with certain images and with certain mindsets, certain strategies in the ring, I know who's a little nervous about losing a venue to a Red Sawyer.
Okay. There has been a rivalry, not only in Test of Strength, Shut Up and Wrestle, and I believe maybe Coliseum, if I'm not mistaken, or something. I forget. This rivalry with yourself and Mark Alexander. I like to call him Mark Alexander the Great. Because of Alex. But never mind.
Yeah, he
But
thinks he
he's
is
got this.
Alexander the Great, and he's on a conquest because you see, all Mark cares about is that damn victory. Okay, all he cares about is that moment when a crowd just loses themselves in what he's doing, and he is the ultimate surrogate activity in that sense for that moment. But they call him Money Mark too. All right, people don't realize how evil money is really at the end of the day, because everybody, when they have money, everybody's so happy. Right? Look at all the money I got. Party, party, party. So that's Mark. When he hits a suplex and he does that step up knee strike that he does, whatever he calls it, people go crazy for it. I give him credit. The kid is an athlete. But like I said, there's no substance. There's no. He's just. I feel bad for him because those people that cheer for him, even when I'm in the ring with him and I'm clawing at him, biting him, whatever I'm doing, and the people are cheering his name on, they're cheering on him to continue fighting, meaning potentially I'm gonna hurt him more. So they really don't care about Mark, and he don't understand that. So I've kind of put my crosshairs on him as the first one that I want to really injure. I want to take him out. I want to put him on the shelf for at least a few months to prove to people this is not about glory. There's nothing glorious in fighting. The people that come here, that really come here to do this, they didn't have an option. They gave up stuff to do this, and they recognize, look, I'm going to get really messed up. My life, in many aspects, is going to get messed up. But I'm going to do it because, God damn it, I want to hurt somebody. And Mark is not here to hurt somebody. He's not here to get. He's here to be a larger than life inspiration, role model, whatever, like a John Cena, if you would believe. He wants to be like a John Cena type.
You hear that? You hear Jesus Christmas. You hear the crowd behind him though. Mark, 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 Mark. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man.
And what happens? He gets up and he fights, and I throw him back down on the ground. And even if he beats me, you've seen the past two results. I get the tire iron, and I do what I do. And who has done anything to stop me? That's why I give credit to Tessa's strength for allowing this. I on the hand on the Bible, Don. I don't believe in that, but still, hand on the Bible. I was ready for that match to be the end. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tie Mark up in these ropes. I want to break his ribs, and if I'm never booked again at Tessa's strength, so be it. I'll move to another damn state. Look, I've been out in Ohio. There's a place for me in Ohio to go to. I don't need New England.
Okay.
So I that was like my c'est la vie. But then they came and said, hey, he wants a rematch. He wants a rematch at training day with me. We could do it. Fine. We did it. Because that's Alexander the Great. He'll lose the battle, he'll leave, and he'll come back to try to win. I'm not about winning battles. I'm about being content in the state that I'm in. I am Diogenes. He is Alexander the Great. And if you knew your history, you would know the story I'm telling you. Where Alexander the Great Conqueror approached the philosopher Diogenes, and he said, ask of me what you will, and I'll grant it to you. And Diogenes said to the man who ruled Europe at the time, just step aside. You're standing in my sunlight. And Alexander the Great looks at his entourage, and he's so impressed by this man's attitude that he doesn't need anything to be happy. He says, wow, if I were not Alexander the Great, I would wish to be Diogenes. And Diogenes said, if I were not Diogenes, I too would wish to be Diogenes. And I'm trying to demonstrate that to Mark, that he can try to be the opposite of what I am. But if he were really just to think for one moment, if he were to sit down and talk to me and not always have to struggle, then I could show him something here. I could teach him how to exist in just
and really be content. Because when I even if he beats me, if I beat him up after, it stews in his mind, and he goes crazy. And I think he's going to accept the street fight challenge I put down for him at the last training day. And if he does, he's a damn idiot getting in there with me. I said, hey, I got the contract worked out with Test of Strength. All he has to do is show up and sign it.
And you know,
I'm ready for it too, man.
you do know Mark is going to sign that, because I mean, it's not like he's going to back down from a fight. But Mark, please think about this twice. Just Imano to Imano, friend, amigo to amigo. Please just think twice about a street fight with Red Sawyer. You described a very nice story. It was like the Bronx Tale with Cologino and Sonny with, doing the old, the locked door thing with the girlfriend, and it's the test, if you will. But that's a different story. But we we've been conversing for an hour, and I really truly did not see that coming at all. I thought I would have done an introduction, you would have yelled some crazy stuff to me, and you would have hung up, and that would have been it. I'm very surprised that you hung out with with us, the fans, and kind of peeled peeled back a couple layers. And I think I appreciate it. I do appreciate that, because, boys and girls, he spent the time out of his life and went over his buddy's house to get away from the old ISP trace and all of that.
Wait, I just got here. What are you're kicking me off? I just got here. We're wrapping it up. It's been an hour. I just called out Mark. I haven't talked about, there's a lot of people that have done shows with you. I got notes on too, by the way, Don. And there's a lot of people in some of these. We could be here a lot. We could be here a while. We could.
Well, because I don't want, I didn't want to piss you off, so I didn't know really which direction I could roll with here. But how about this? Let's do something. Let's spin it around and let this be stirring the pot with Red Sawyer, and you take over and you talk to us about what you've got in your thoughts and what's on your mind, because I don't know how to pick Red Sawyer's brain. I'm trying to be neutral, because I go down the middle. I don't want to piss nobody off. What do you want to talk to us about? I mean, please, this platform is made for the talent that we invite on here. If you don't want to go and you want to stay another hour, hit me. What do we got here? Talk to me. Let's get some more information.
All right. Yeah. Look, I don't want to keep you. Look, I don't want to be disrespectful and keep you much longer than really you would like to. I know you came on here scared, but you came here at a late time that I put down. You worked with me, so let me just get my message off that this game, this sport, people get the wrong idea of what goes on, because there's a lot of ways that you can just get into wrestling. That's another thing too. Believe it or not, I swear to God, believe it or not, it's like this in other combat sports where
This is not good. He's so mad.
you really seen in wrestling. There's a lot of people that get in here thinking that it's something other than it is. And that's because, there have been fixed fights in wrestling. There's been obvious cooperation at times, just like so many fights I can name in many other sports. In damn NASCAR, there's fixes. All right. So I feel like a lot of people are coming into this with a whole wrong set of expectations of what they're going to get out of it. And I see a lot of them on your show, and I feel bad, because they're going to get in there one day, and they're going to get hurt. They're going to realize that, wow, you know what? I'm getting lit up right now. Or, you know what? I don't think I can move my shoulder the way it normally was. And I got to keep fighting. You know, I'm going to put this in people's heads. I'm put people in these situations because, like I said, man, it's just, I don't know how to tell you guys that I know I can put myself through these kind of, look, if the booking commission at Test of Strength want me to do a barbed wire match, I would be reluctant to, because you have to be an idiot to really put yourself in some kind of situation. Well, we're gonna have a chainsaw match. I'm not putting myself in a chainsaw match. I'm not stupid. These death matches, these strange, perverted death match performances that I've seen. Look, a lot of it goes over my head. When I was young, the first few times I saw it, there was something related there. Okay, some about people just getting cut up and bleeding and just getting butchered, because I had physically been butchered in my life before. I have the scars I could show you, Don, to prove this to people. But I mean, these are scars that other people don't have. You know, it's unseen. What I've gone through is unseen. So now I said, why does it have to be unseen? Let's let the people see now. Let me put these scars on some people, and if they put it on me, that's fine. This is the exchange now. And man, I'll just say to the state, you know, the region of New England, just take a second thought on what you got yourself into. Because if this is your dream, that's the key. If this is your dream, you have problems, whether you believe it or not. It was never my dream to be a pro wrestler. Things happened in my life that brought me here. And am I resentful of it? Yes. Am I happy with it? Yes. It's a weird state I'm in, but I just take it day by day, week to week, match to match. And it's just always going to be somebody else getting hurt. And if it's me or my opponent, every weekend, I hope to show you what goes on in my life when you're not around. So there it is.
Okay. You spoke of a couple topics that I'm gonna pull one out. The guys that do the flippy stuff and they fly around and they hold, you know, and you were talking. Some of it is cooperative physicality.
Absolutely.
That is one thing that I have never seen out of one Red Sawyer. It's always smash mouth. It's always in your face, and it's nothing but that. The flippy do guy stuff, that does not seem to really set well with one Red Sawyer at all.
You can do whatever you want, but I think at times it's gratuitous. You know, you got a guy down, take him out, get the pin, do what you got to do. If you got to go to the top rope when a man has been laid out and he's ready for the pin, and you got to show off the most impressive triple lutz, whatever you learned when you were a gymnast, you know what? That's glory to me. Once again, I don't like people chasing the glory of pro wrestling. I think that's so many people get caught up in that this is some kind of fantastic dream job, something to do, something to be proud of. I'm not proud that I hurt people, Don. You saw Barnaby. That's my one singles victory in wrestling over Barnaby Combs, and I give the man credit for showing up and having a match with me. But he was a hard-working dude, and that was my strategy. I'm gonna make him work hard. He's got good stamina, but I'm gonna let him work it. You know, and he was on me for a minute. I let him work. I let him hit me. I let him, you know, let me not put it that way. I didn't go ahead, hit me. Not like that. Not like that. But I just rode it out. I rode it out the best I could. And I knew he was going to tire out first. I got on his shoulder. I did what I had to do, and it sucks because he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I see him across, in the locker room. I'm one of the guys that sits out in the corner, but I
Yeah.
see him, and he's a good dude. But I had to do what I had to do to him.
Love me some Barnaby Combs. That's for sure. Hard work. Hard work. Do you have any? We've spoken of a couple of the talents, and I was talking about this rivalry you have going on with Mark Alexander. Is there anyone else that you have directly in your sights at all, maybe?
Well, we could talk about Mark's old partner, Hippie Dicky Moon, who has not been showing up lately. I did have my sights on him for a minute. Obviously, you look at us. He's about peace. I'm about chaos. So it's natural from the beginning that I said, oh, he's a good one that I could crucify in a sense for his sins and make a statement with that. But I don't know what happened, and he stopped showing up. So now it was on a Mark. I really don't like the firm guys, man. Like, I don't know what's going on with them right now. They're kind of taking different directions. I know Sammy Diaz got hurt. I see the Hustle and the Muscle have been having a lot of tag team success. But like, let's be real, guys. Like, what is the firm doing when they're not in the wrestling ring? You know what they're doing? They're up to no good.
Yeah, they're usually pissing people off, but I've been seeing them shaking hands and kissing fucking babies, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just like rap music when we glorify drug dealers and gang members. That's what the firm are, man.
Oh wow. Collectively,
you're not hip to that. It's the criminals, dude.
Oh, well, because they were trying to do the old schmoozing bit with me, and I gave them the old middle finger, but I ran because they would kill me. But I gave them the middle finger. I'm not cheering for those guys. I'm not shaking hands. I'm not giving hugs. They don't fucking fool me for a second. I think they've got some kind of trying to pull the old wool over people's eyes, but I'm not buying it for a minute. But
I'm smarter than you look.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. That's actually a compliment. Sammy Diaz coming back. He seems medically cleared from a dislocated shoulder, elbow. So he's making his way back. Hustle and Muscle, they've been active. And Elijah Six, the Go All Red D, he's been missing in action. But whenever this kind of comes back together with the four of them, I'm very curious to see where the hell the firm goes, because like you've said, they've taken now for me that would be pretty damn funny, but they have taken on a different direction. You are absolutely right, and I want to point out something. If I it's a quick tale, if I may tell it.
Yeah,
a couple years back, a few years pre King COVID, before the world got off. King COVID. No, never mind. But right. Elijah Six, he was working over at the old PAPW in East Haven, and he had a little hankering pre-event. And I know you were talking about people that follow you into at the grocery stores, and you said that it wasn't me. But you may be wrong there, because I kind of followed Elijah Six into a Dollar General while he was trying to get some Slim Jims, rolling footage and everything.
Yeah, with you it's a little joke though. It's just a little for the behind the scenes. You're more of like a little TMZ kind of guy. You're not reporting.
No. There was no info to be had. There was no there was no scandalous acts going on. It was just me creeping on Elijah Six buying Slim Jims. That was fun AF, as the kids say. As fuck, if you didn't know what AF is. But yeah, I just wanted to share that little tale. I thought that was a lot of fun. But it kind of, the grocery store thing, and it just reminded me of that.
Real cute.
The firm. Those guys, holy shit sticks. Kind of curious to see where that goes. You've been to other promotions besides, and I've already mentioned one other, but Test of Strength. We've talked Shut Up and Wrestle out of the Landry's Combine in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Where else have you spread your violence and frustration to, sir?
I had a match with ECPW at a Catholic church shrine monument park kind of thing that I was asked to leave like immediately after my match.
I would think so.
Yeah, they got a close look at my jacket. My jacket, it's not with me right now. I'd show you. There's a lot of anti various things stuff on my jacket, and there's a lot of anti-religious propaganda on there. So they very quickly saw that, and I had to go. And I ran up to Torrington. I showed up there. I heard there was a 2TW show going on, so I just kind of barged in and, spoke to who I had to speak to, and they said, all right, we'll put you on the card. And I wrestled Troy Stevens that night. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, 2TW is another one. They how could I say, man? I feel like I got them kind of in a bad position where, a Red Sawyer is he's gotten some reactions out there, and even as much as promoters don't like some of the things I bring to the table, they realize that it is a draw. And I have been put on cards somewhat reluctantly just because, hey, you know what? Maybe this will stir something up and we can get some people. And so 2TW, it seems that we have that kind of working relationship, kind of a unsaid, all right, you go do your thing, and we'll do that. But where else have I been? I've been out in Ohio. I got a call. And you know what? You want to talk about peeling the curtain back? I'll tell you this. Test of Strength got a call. And he needed the two young guys and a vet.
Okay.
All right. It was Frosty, Mark, and one other person. I'm not going to name who. They had to drop off of the trip.
Okay.
They went through 3 other people that they said, hey, can you make this trip right now? This is a little cross promotional thing. 3 other guys got called. They couldn't get work off. They couldn't, they had car trouble, whatever it is. They had to ask me. So I say, you know what? As much as I don't like you, Frosty, I really don't like Mark, I'll ride down in the car with you. Because, in New England is one thing. But if we're going out there, I've never really traveled that far west in my life. So I said, look, we'll have a truce. While we're out there, there's a truce for this weekend.
Okay. All right.
We made it through the weekend. We defended each other. Me and Mark actually ended up in the tag team. We had to tag in Battle on the Border was the name of the promotion.
Okay.
And they put us against these monsters, dude. These guys were huge. So, I mean, when it's 2 big dudes and you're gonna look to whoever's at your right and say, all right, if you got my back, I got yours. We're gonna try our best here.
Okay.
And he had my back, I had his. We made it home in one piece, and when we left, I said, all right, truce is off. Truce is off. I gave him a pound, and that was that. The key is we all benefited from that. We put our differences aside for that moment.
Right.
And now I'll get the call back. Like I said, if in the street fight, they don't like what I do to Mark, if I go a little too hard and I hurt him too much,
I can go out to Cincinnati. I got
Okay.
2 promoters that'll book me. And let me tell you, out there it's different. They like that. They like that death match crap out there with the chainsaws and the sawzalls, and you won't see me getting involved with any kind of matches like that. Because listen, there's a street fight though. Street fight, and I'll give you a key to it. The street fight basically is no DQ. Use whatever's in there. I can bring some stuff in there too, and we're gonna have a fight. These death matches, this is like the movie Saw with some of it, with the setup. You're not like they take piles of fluorescent light tubes, duct tape them into cabins and pyramids, and put them on the building construction things, and then throw them through it. And I have never in my life in a street fight seen someone get thrown through a light tube log cabin. So at that point, what's that promotion? Combat Zone Wrestling? Combat Zone? So it's like a killing field is basically what they're saying. I'm not signing up for a match like that.
Okay.
That's psychotic. At that point now, I really could die. And those light tubes, and look, you see people get hit with light tubes thousands of times. They kill people. That dude Nick Cage died from a light tube hitting him the wrong way.
A light tube log cabin. You're so fucking correct.
So I would not sign up for a match like that.
Okay.
I would want to murder somebody to throw him through a light tube log cabin. Trying to be stupid.
I might title this one light tube log cabin. I'm sorry.
Don't do that and give people the wrong impression of what we talked about, because I'm talking down about that.
No.
Right.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But you know me. I mean, I'm ridiculous.
Believe it or not, man. Believe it or not, no DQ. Another thing to peel back the curtain doesn't mean you can get in a car and run somebody over. You know, no DQ. There's basically they say you have to stay within this zone. Confines. I mean, there'll be other times say, okay, you can go out in the parking lot, you can go out here, but there's an agreed area. So you kill somebody in a wrestling ring, it's murder. It's not, it's just how it is. So Red Sawyer's violent, man, but he's not stupid.
Okay, I give you that.
I'm a cunning individual.
You know, because let's just be honest. There's so many question marks that happens with all of the chainsaws and the sawzalls and the weed whackers and the light tube log cabins and such. You don't know what the F is. And I'm not saying that you know exactly what's going to happen in a traditional wrestling match, because anything can happen. That's very evident, because you're doing athletic things and anything can happen at any time. But you add these elements of all of these weaponry. There's way too many question marks what could happen to your body. And I've seen dudes just gashed wide open. Like, I can't see that stuff personally live more than one time. It's just too much for this guy. I mean, there's just too many question marks, sir. And I do get exactly what you're saying.
I don't know, but at the same time, though, the way I'm feeling about Mark right now, man. I mean, you're not gonna see a chainsaw, man, but you really, really have to worry about him right now.
Well, like I've said earlier, man, you know, just think twice before signing on that dotted line. And what the hell, since we're speaking of, what the hell is wrong with the higher ups, the brass of TOS? Like you even stated before, they got some screws loose too, because if they're putting this match up and all they're waiting for is Mark to sign on the dotted line, they got some fucking screws loose over there.
Yeah. People pay to see that kind of stuff. The more people come out to see it, that means the more people I can reach out to and educate.
And send the message.
It's a screwed up world, man. It doesn't make any sense. Why would this be allowed? But I mean, there's people like you. You're gonna be there, I hope.
I'll be. Oh, wait.
I want your camera to be there. I want Foggy's camera to be there. I want the Test of Strength cameras to be there. I want everybody, and this is my one chance. You can film. This is everybody's chance to film me, right? Everybody's doing it all covertly and surveilling me. No, this time, everybody gets to see. Go ahead, pull your phones out.
All right. I would be remiss to not speak upon the date of said event. Is that not going to be Fight for Your Dreams 5? Is that correct?
September 17th.
I unfortunately I will not be attending because my better half, my love Cindy Hart, she's a ring announcer and she has a gig up at Vacation Land Pro Wrestling, and I will not be in the state. So unfortunately, I will not be able to witness said occurrence. Maybe it's better off that way. Probably.
I'll be thinking of you. Don't worry.
Oh well, thank you. I think that's in Northampton, Mass, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Correct.
At the Elks Lodge, Northampton, Mass, September 17th.
Yep, September 17th. Fight for Your Dreams 5. Boys and girls, I talk about strength, test of strength all the time. Probably this is going to be episode 341. If there's been more than one episode that I have not talked about test of strength on, I'd be very surprised. Truly. Now, I mean, being one of the targeted, if you will, and why would you come on a platform being a podcast? And I don't even call it a podcast. Everybody else says I don't. I just call it a platform where people can come and talk about, hang out and talk wrestling amongst each other. But why pick a platform to send a message when? And I know, again, we've already kind of spoken on it a little bit. Your face, your name, your likeness, it's going to be out there even more, my man. I thought you were trying to, keep it a little covert.
Because I think people forget. Like I said, I had a good childhood. I had a nice apartment and a stable job. I was like a normal, somewhat person. And this person you see now, who I've become, I'm horrified to see myself become this person. And I want it to horrify the people who caused this, that I know for a fact intentionally set out to ruin my life. It's all laid out for me. I know what's happening. So if they want to do that to me, they have to live with it. They're not going to just destroy me and just sweep me under the rug and not have to think about me again. That I'm still alive and that my life now is a direct result of the shit that everybody wanted to do to me, man. So this shit, you caused it. I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the five that caused this.
Okay.
5.
Just for reference, that's your friend. That's your friend's property. I'd be very careful. You don't want to owe people money because you don't have a lot of money, as you stated.
I'm gonna owe him some money right now already.
Yeah,
this shit's broken.
Maybe we should let you go to get with. Babe, we haven't talked any information how we find or can see. Do you have footage besides myself and Foggy and such? Is there a YouTube? Do you even put your, like, I know you have a Facebook and IG and stuff, but do you literally ever utilize these things? Like, do you want people to find you and stuff? Like, do we give the
I
details
mean,
if you have like a
yeah,
Pornhub
'cause
or
it's
something like
my,
that?
yeah. Oh yeah, what was that about? What was that about, huh? What's with the Pornhub comment? Who told you to say that one?
No, no, you never know what the talents
That's
have on
specific.
the
That's
side.
very specific. But that's okay. Maybe I'm reading into that. But oh yeah. So yeah, on Instagram at Red Sawyer, and my Facebook is I'm Red Sawyer, and you'll see it's me. That's just really ways you can get in touch with me, and you can on my Instagram I post more than my Facebook. But yeah, I post really like match clips on my Instagram, and I don't even want to show you my phone. If you saw my phone, your jaw would drop, man, because my phone, the tracking is debugged basically,
Okay.
so I can kind of move around. You know how you get pinged? You're like you have pings anywhere you go. Your phone pings off the nearest tower, right? Like they solve crimes with that.
Okay.
I got mine. That was one of the first things I had to do. I learned I had to get my phone off the grid. So I'm able to use my Instagram and my Facebook from there. I don't have a phone number. Um, that's it. Those are my two avenues you can get in touch with me, and I do that just for booking. And it's, dude, I if I were to show you my Facebook Messenger inbox of the amount of people that are asking for my Cash App and my Venmo, people that are claiming they're graphic designers and they want to do designs for me. You know, this obviously more of this harassment, this cyber harassment I go through, you know, and it's always me. You know, nobody else has to put up with this crap but me.
Uh, yeah, I haven't really heard too much of that going around, so maybe it is just you. I'm not sure. Possible. Uh, Mr. Mr. Sawyer, I know we have covered an immense
Yeah.
amount of ground, getting to know a little bit more because you're not a. Uh, I want to speak on something before we kind of do separate ways here.
Yeah.
You're not at the Jesus Christmas. You're not at the merch tables. I don't see like you presenting Red Sawyer T-shirts and stickers and magnets and maybe keychains or targeted
No.
information with Red Sawyer stuff on it or something like that. I don't see you doing that. And also, I never see you at the shows like ever, except when you're at like in your match. Like, is that something that's by design? Because I see everybody there. I go there pre-show. I'm there wicked early. You know me. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
Dr. K, blah, 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 and I do my stupid shit. But I
Yeah.
see every single person except for Red Sawyer. Is that by design? Is that
Yeah.
something that
It's on both the things you mentioned. That's agreements, deals that I kind of have with TOS, where is they really, you know, whatever goes on, they try to tell the guys, hey, look, don't go out there and say, hey, fuck all you motherfuckers. Like they try to make it a family friendly show. Again, this is a business. We got to watch what we say. Like,
Right.
you know, draw kids come out to the fights, and so they tell me, hey, all right, everybody, call time is. They'll tell the boys this time. They'll say, Red, you can come. They usually give me 3 or 4 hours difference, just to kind of
Oh,
minimize the time that I'm there hanging around. So,
okay.
because yeah, they don't want me to walk up to a fan who shows up early and, oh hey, they're putting up the wrestling ring, and then I'm talking to them, and so I show up a little later than everybody. I have to do some work on the side to, like, once again, talking about paying dues. you won't see me doing really ring crew nowadays. Like maybe before, I used to do ring crew. I kept my face covered up, so you probably have seen me up to like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
About you may have seen me just under not a lucha libre mask, but just a ski mask or something, or
okay.
bandana at least. Um, but now I don't have to set up the ring. I have other things that I do to help the school that I just have to do,
All right.
you know. And when it comes to we're talking about merch, listen, I mean, who would want to buy my merch? You know, I mean, what purpose do I even have selling? You know, I preach anti-capitalism. I don't want to, you know, become a business like that. I don't want to have to merchandise, commoditize myself. I have, however, I have had several pamphlets I want to hand out for free. All right, and
Oh,
they've been shot down. You know, I'm trying to get one that's a draft that the commission will see and say, hey, look, you can hand this out for free at the show. But
okay.
basically, they're worried about me putting bad ideas in kids' heads by doing that. So,
Well, they call that propaganda, right?
yeah, I mean, it's counter propaganda. It's proper propaganda.
it's, it's, it's proper propaganda. How can that not be the title of this episode? It's proper propaganda.
I could live with that one. That's what it
Okay.
is. It's proper propaganda.
That's definitely the title. I don't mean to laugh. And I know you're very serious about all of what we spoke tonight. And I am not making light about it at all. But I'm just not targeted. I don't feel I'm targeted. I don't feel the electronic thought scrambler or the voice scrambler at times or
Projection.
whatever. Yeah.
Thought
That,
projection.
yeah. That, yes. And now is that like a projector that goes onto the wall? So if I close my eyes, will I feel and open my eyes? It's like a projector, like I don't know,
No, it's
screen.
It's like, you know how people talk about schizophrenia is hearing voices?
Yep.
I mean, it's like an artificial version of that.
Okay.
And I've learned that it's not just like voices in your head, but it's other people's thoughts being
All right.
projected into your head. So it's literally like a mind to mind link. At least
Okay.
that's like what we're really theorizing it to be.
Mhm.
So it's pretty much I just kind of link up to you, and I think, all right, walk over here and do this, and it's my mind controlling your mind and thus your body.
Okay. I'm 51. Is there an age limit? Like, am I good? Well, did that like does it affect older people or like?
Well, you may be just slipping into dementia any day now. So and who knows at this point with you? And I heard angel dust makes you hear voices too. So you
Oh,
may have
uh,
experienced that.
oh wow. I was only on angel dust for about like I don't know 3, 4, 5, 7 years or so. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had a
Uh,
feeling.
I was only supposed to try it once. That kind of led into something. But Mr. Sawyer, way more open, way mucho, mucho open uh, than I ever expected. So I appreciate you talking to us openly, honestly, and just kind of letting us get to know you a little better. I don't know if how do you feel it went by chance? If I may get, I've never done this before. I'm kind of asking, how do you feel it went to the talent that we've just spoken 1 hour 40 minutes with? Do you feel it went all right or?
It's draining, to be honest.
uh,
Having to actually think about this shit. Man, I don't know, like, you know, there's a lot of things in life that you can just kind of just put in the back of your mind and not have to think about and just do and do. I would assume there's probably been a lot of people who lived under dictatorships who had to do certain jobs for their government that they were doing terrible things, but they were just doing their orders, you know? So.
But that is a thing, just doing my job. You know, just doing my job.
I feel like I'm just doing my job. I feel like there's people that can just march through that kind of stuff. You're doing your job and sit down and actually have to think about it. That's what this is, to actually think about what I've done the past 2 years and talk about it with somebody other than one of my doctors.
Well, I didn't mean it to be therapy of sorts, but I have been I have been told I am draining. So if I did that to you this evening, I do apologize, but I have been told that on
no, man. Life is just hard, and for everybody, life is hard and is tough. It gets tough out there. Weary is the word. You feel weary after a while, carrying so much.
Absolutely.
So,
no, I can feel that.
I mean,
we agreed on something. Does that mean I'm targeted? I gotta figure a couple things out here. I really gotta put some things into perspective.
Just keep an eye on the channel. On your channel, just keep an eye on the viewers.
Okay.
I'll send you something that you can use to kind of see like who is watching your videos from where, and you can kind of say, all right, you're getting a lot of hits from this area. All right, maybe you should start preparing for something. But I think you're good.
Okay, so we'll just say Sri Lanka. I have a lot of viewers in Sri Lanka. Would that be okay? Do you feel they're on the?
I'm just such socialists out in Sri Lanka. I have nothing to do with them.
I was just throwing out an example.
Very jingoistic people, the Sri Lankans are.
The Sri Lankan, okay.
Whatever the hell they are.
What a fucking weird way to end this thing. Mr. Sawyer, thank you for spending time with us.
Yes, sir.
And being info. Is there anything we haven't touched upon before? I don't want you leaving mad. That's the last thing I want. Is there anything that we have not touched upon that you would like to present, put on the table before we do separate ways here?
I just say this, anybody who watch this, don't think that I'm any type of friendly with you. If you see me on here talking to Kincaid, that's one thing. If you see me outside the show, do not approach me. Do not talk to me. Kincaid he's a fan. He's a little different. He gets a little different privilege, a little different treatment. But to you wrestling fans out there, I really do not like you. I have not liked you. I've never liked wrestling fans. Like, as an adult, I've never liked you guys. And I just hope to make you all miserable, and I hope to really ruin this whole, wow, wrestling is fun and great thing for a lot of the guys that get in there and do it. Because they're going to find out real quick they signed up for something they had no idea about, something they've never lived before, something that I've been living constantly. And I ended up here. I didn't ask to be here. I ended up here.
I know. It's during the pod, episode 341. Holy shit. Boys and girls, this is Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Red Sawyer. Thank you once again, sir.
Right. All right, man. We'll talk again some other time. I got to go thank my friend, and I'm out of here.
Okay.